Hello, Scrappy Peeps. Suzanna here today for Elle Studio, and I am sharing with you my first of two layouts for Reveal. This is the layout that I created using the kit and some of the September add-ons. Again, I have taken 3x4 cards and I have used them in a bit of a grid-like format. However, in order to break up that grid, I do have some triangles down the bottom. So I am using some of the 6x6 paper pad that was also released to create a footer down the bottom here. So it's just two skinny strips that are going to line up side by side, and then I'm also using this triangular pattern paper, kind of more geometric, and cutting out triangles from them in order to create a little bit of a kind of a more, I'm going to call it rustic look to the bottom of the layout there. It kind of goes with that circle that is going to go in the journal card that also coordinates with the stamps. It has a bit of a sort of a tribal feel to it, I'm going to call it. So I have gone with a particular color palette here, so I'm using that salmony pink, this aqua, and a navy blue. So I've pulled all of the elements from both the kit, the pattern papers, the print and cut file labels, as well as the pattern papers here to go with these pictures. There are 3 4x3 pictures. This is of my daughter. She got a new laptop recently, and it tells the story of the new laptop. So while the prominent title on the page at the bottom is going to say Life Moments, it's actually subtitled New Laptop. And that will come towards the end of the video where you see that all come together. So I am going to just use these 3 cards. I do not like this particular journal card with the navy blue is oriented to go more of a vertical card, but you can see that I'm using things horizontally. So that is easy to take care of. I'm going to just remove the innard and then back it with, I'm actually going to go with pattern paper. My original plan had been to just put cardstock behind it, but I did like the white with the subtle dots it's a bit of a cross shape as a background there. So that ends up being the basic format of the layout. I have done many of these layouts before in various shapes and sizes, and I like that it's kind of a tried and true. So you see I do have a journal card there, but the font was running downhill and it kind of read the wrong way. So I decided to abandon that and just put something else, and this is where I pull from the 6x6 paper pad, this piece of pattern paper, and it's just a very subtle pattern, but it adds to the layout there. So again, I have decided that this is a great format. I like the way that everything is lined up, and so I'm going to go ahead and commit to that. It's just a matter of, at this point, adding embellishments, a title, and other fun goodies. But you know, when you get these Elle Studio kits and the add-ons, it's so easy to do, and things come out so quickly because everything coordinates. The colors are perfect. I absolutely fell in love with this kit and the add-ons when it arrived. The color palette is just perfect. Absolutely, absolutely perfect. I recently had a layout over on the Elle Studio blog about labels. I just used labels as part of my layout more than just for journaling, and the jewel-toned labels speak to all of the colors that are in this particular kit this month. It is just sublime. This is just a selection of the colors that I'm using here. So again, I've committed to this. I'm going to put everything down. You know, as I was editing this video, I noticed that things are a little bit crooked. That picture on the bottom right is a little bit crooked, and I'm pretty sure that right-hand side navy blue floral is a little bit crooked too, but you don't really notice. My goal here as I was putting these triangles down was I kind of wanted them to flip off the page. It's kind of like a folded fabric was the idea. So they are not, they add to the movement of the page is the idea. When things extend over the edge of the layout. That was a tongue twister. I do like to use my scissors and get a really flush, clean cut by picking up the layout and lining up the edges of the scissors and cutting that out there. So again, if you follow my work, you will know that I cut things by color palette. Everything I have pulled out here. So as I lose things on my desk, because I really have a small space for filming in, I'm shuffling things around to try and look for things. So I wanted to put a header on this. I go with this peachy salmony colored patterned paper. I really like that subtle texture that adds to that tribal feel at the top of the page. However, I feel like I have this weight of that blue down the bottom, and I feel like I need something heavy that's going to go up the top. So I'm kind of playing around at this point. My original plan had actually been to use the stamp and stamp that in navy across the top, but I thought, well, why duplicate it if I've already got it in a patterned paper? So I'm going to shuffle around various elements, and what I struggle with pages is I'm trying to keep horizontal elements horizontal and not try and put too much vertical in. So you can see in that journal card on the top right in the aqua color, the marine color, that there is a vertical element. However, because the bulk of the color runs horizontal, it doesn't break up that flow of the pattern. What's going to happen here is I'm going to have a bunch of labels, and they are going to go horizontal because everything else goes horizontal. But the problem is that it doesn't work with that strong, bold teal or aqua or marine on the right hand side, and it breaks up that flow. So I'm going to have to rearrange things here. I am going to use these puffy stickers. I love that Elle Studio has these word puffy stickers, and I love that font. I'm going to use a couple of the other elements that coordinate. So that particular sticker says hooray for this. It really was a big moment. The story behind this layout is that Mia, my daughter, went away to summer camp down in Atlanta this summer, and she learned how to use a 3D printer. And part of the process of this was that she had a 3D printer that got sent home to our house for her to create her own 3D printed creations. Well, the problem is when you have an archaic desktop that is probably 7 years old, the technology isn't quite as advanced, and so you can create these wonderful creations. However, you cannot use the appropriate file type to download the file and move it to the 3D printer. So we have spent a lot of time with Nicholas lately. We have spent a lot of money on this college recruiting process for this child, and I feel like poor old Mia is being left by the wayside. She is 13, she is in middle school, and those are rough years. So I had a long talk with Michael, and we decided that we would get her a laptop so that she could transfer and use these new skills that we spent a lot of money sending her to camp for, and she could print her creations. And that is the rationale for getting this new laptop. That's a very long aside, but that's the story of the laptop, why she got the laptop, and the story that I tell in the layout there. So I finally find a use for this journal card, and I am going to use it as a banner. And you will see that I put a lot of these banner elements going horizontally, and it doesn't look right. It competes very much with that vertical stripe on that far right hand side. So I struggle with it, and I'm not sure how I'm going to come up with a solution. I do find these other strips of patterned paper, and I like them for the variety of color. It sort of pulls all of the colors in the layout together, which I really like. I also like how the florals in that strip down the bottom pull all the color together, but yeah, you can see it just doesn't work. And I think part of it too may be the weight of the blue in that particular frame as well. So it could fly, but there, they work so much better this way, and they don't compete with the weight of that aqua or teal on that right hand side there. So I have to trim them down a little bit, and they work perfectly. It kind of adds to the festivity of the hooray for this moment, and the life moment that I am telling there. So I do add, you can see the title that says Life Moments. There are a couple of other just little things, details that are going to be added to that, but I will add my actual title, or in some ways subtitle, to the bottom of the photo elements off camera. I'm going to use some of the Elle Studio letter stickers, and I'm going to banner those to go with the banner, match the banners that are in that top left corner, and it will just say new laptop, because I really felt like I needed to identify what the actual purpose of this layout is. So I like that label there down the bottom, but I wanted just a little bit more color to that, and so I'm going to add one of the mini label stickers that comes with the kit this month that says currently, and I will stamp the date in the date sticker that is at the bottom there. But see how that just little splash of white right there just ties everything together. This acrylic is also a September add-on, as well as the wood veneer, the little house there. There's a whole collection of wood veneers. I just liked the way that it tied the skin tones from the top of the the layout down into the bottom there. So this is how I'm going to incorporate that blue to just soften the weight of that blue at the bottom of the layout and bring it up to the top of the layout. This is one of the stamps from the stamp set, and it just says special moments / documented, and I just repeated it all the way across the page. Those particular labels there, that aqua and the blue one, the aqua says captured, and the blue, it's kind of a black / navy blue, says this was the perfect day. I know she was really struggling with how she was going to have this new skill and be able to share this skill with the world, and by getting her the laptop, she was able to do that. Mind you, she still hasn't printed anything. She's having problems leveling out the platform. So these are also heart stickers that come with this month's collection. Again, look at that color palette. They are just the perfect fall colors. I'm going to use the colors that I'm using in this particular palette. I love the way that by adding just those two little hearts in that top right-hand corner, it just ties everything together. It's just such a very subtle element, but is perfect. So be sure to check out the affiliate link in the box down below for all of the goodies that I used. Enjoy these close-ups. Thanks for stopping in today. I love having you come and join me, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care.